Okay, welcome everybody for our next recap for the week ending on June 4th, 2021. What I'm going to be discussing today is an important one, so please stay tuned. We're going to be talking about how to select a profitable trading strategy. And for most people, it's not what you think it is. Okay, I think I'm going to share some enlightening things for a lot of traders. If you're new or inexperienced trader, even those that have been trading for years, haven't really put much thought to this. So I want to go through that a little bit and try to educate you on when you're selecting a trading strategy, whether it be from me or anybody else, there's some key things you want to look at, and there's some key things that you do want to question. Okay, so we'll go through that in a minute. But before we do, as always, let's go through our stats for the week. Let's see where we are, and then we can get into talking about how to select a profitable trading strategy. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats for the week. Now, once again, if you're new to my videos, let me explain these to you. We are looking at just 4 of the pairs offered by Nadex. These are based on 5-minute Nadex binaries. We're looking at the Aussie US, Euro, Pound, and US Yen. Okay. I also track my first trade of the day, which that means is that whichever setup happens in the morning, the very first one is the one that I'm recording here. Okay, so you can see this is not a strategy. The point is to show you that coming out of the gate, first thing in the morning, that first trade tends to be a winner more often than not. Okay, that is a strong indicator of a profitable system, folks. All right, so keeping that in mind, let's look at the stats for the week. I call them naked. That means we have everything that I do is based off of patterns. They're called behavioral patterns. I have some videos that I've done that explains a little bit more about a behavioral pattern. You can go back and look at those on YouTube. That being said, these behavioral patterns are very black and white in terms of their setup, meaning that they indicate whether you want to be a buyer or a seller. And these are the results based on that, whether it would have been a profitable trade or a non-profitable trade, based on that if you were to just trade it without any other filtration. I do not suggest that you do that. The purpose here is to show you that and these patterns do put the probabilities or the odds in your favor right out of the gate. You can certainly improve on that. Obviously, experience will dictate whether you're going to be successful with that or not, but it's something that can be learned. You can master it, but I'm definitely going to give you a tool that's going to put the odds in your favor. And I don't think there's many tools out there, if any, that can do what my strategies do. But that being said, let's take a look at this for the week. As you can see, I've been talking about trading mainly the yen and the Aussie. Had a very good week. Percentage-wise on the Aussie and the yen, I'm still sitting above that 70%. That's where you want to be. You want to be somewhere in that 70 to 80%. I'm telling you, folks, you cannot always be, 80, 90% accurate. It doesn't exist. There's a lot of noise in the market that is unpredictable, so don't think that you're going to find a strategy that's going to consistently make 80, 90, 100%. It doesn't exist, okay? Those that claim it does are usually looking at a very small sample size. They're not looking at a large sample size. Please be aware of that, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more as we get into how to select a profitable trading strategy. But that being said, this is where I want to be in the 70th percentile, and you can see this is what we expected, and this is what we got for the week. And once again, my focus this week was on the Aussie and the yen, and I'm probably continue to do that. If I make any changes, I may go with the euro and the yen, but right now my game plan is to stick with the Aussie and the yen coming up in the following week. All right, first trade out of the gate, once again, we didn't have any trading on Sunday night. All right. We didn't do any trading Monday night. All right. So these are the results. Had 80% winning trades in the morning. Had 100% winning trades in the evening. That means, once again, first trade, whichever the first trade was on these four, that's what I'm showing here. Okay. Once again, big percentages puts the odds in your favor on that very first trade out of the gate, which means in most cases, when you're setting an objective, which I highly recommend that you do, you don't come in without a game plan. You set yourself a dollar objective, $50 a day, $100 a day, whatever it is. All right, as you get more experience, you can increase those numbers. Once you hit that objective, you walk away. But having that first trade, having those kind of winning percentages, it's showing you that you can usually hit your objective early in your trading than later on. Another very important factor to take a look at. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is I'd look at some very interesting numbers, because we are going to be talking a little bit more about this in just a little bit. But here's what I did here. I went back and I looked at all the trades from 2020 to 2021. Now, of course, these are real time. These are the stats. These are going to be real time on these four. So in other words, how many setups did I have from 2020 and 2021 on these four? We had 11,996 setups. All right. This is based on one pattern, PAP, but I teach you a total of 5 different ones. All right. I'm talking about one pattern, one behavioral pattern, one setup had over 11,996, almost 12,000. And then I looked at the percentages of probability across these four, 74%. All right. For those that are new, okay, these are phenomenal numbers. All right. I can believe in a method that has these kind of numbers over this big of a sample size. All right. Sample size is so important, but this is out of sample. Basically, what this means, this is real time. This is in the market real time percentages, and that is extremely important. And the longer or the bigger the sample size, or the bigger the out of sample, I should call these out of sample or real time, the bigger the out of sample size is, okay, the more reliable that particular method is going to be. I believe in these patterns. I've been doing these patterns for years. I know what they are. I know they're going to hold up now. They're going to hold up in the future. You can't have these you can't have over 12,000 samples, all right, and think for some reason it's going to fall apart. It's not, because you see the way these patterns are designed, they're designed because they expose a unique characteristic about the markets, okay, that no indicator is going to do, all right? I don't care, head and shoulders, supporting them, support and resistance, all these other kind of crazy stuff, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci numbers, all that kind of stuff. They're not going to give it to you, folks, okay? It's very, very, very subjective, okay? So that is the thing. These are tools, but this is a tool that's definitely going to put the odds in your favor. Does that mean you're going to be a successful trader? Not necessarily. Even if it was at 98%, most people couldn't make money with it. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I've talked about that in videos in the past. But most of traders know that after they have a couple losses, they're ready to throw into the towel. So looking at something like this, you come in and you're trading, all right, and you have a loss or a couple losses in a row, what you're going to do. That's part of the game. That's reality, okay? The important thing is, do you still believe in your trading method? Well, when you're looking at the fact that you've had 12,000 examples, real-time examples, and you're hitting at 74%, yeah, I can believe in continuing to trade that, all right? Most people can't say that about any method they're using. After a couple losses, they're ready to give up. They don't have any real-time data behind them, okay, to have the confidence to say, you know what, I know that the percentages are in my favor, and they're going to keep going at it and keep going at it because they know they have the odds, the wind's in their back, they're going to come out ahead. They just have to keep working at it and practice. This is a game, folks. It's like any other profession. I can give you the best tools in the world, but it's still up to you to make sure that you use those tools, okay? I can put a football in your hand, and I can put a football in a professional player's hand, and who's going to throw the better pass, you or him? Same ball, all right, but who's going to be the better quarterback, all right? Keep that in mind. It's the same way in trading. It's not the tool. Stop thinking it's the tool, folks. The tools put the odds in your favor. You still have to learn how to use those tools. Most people give up because they can't trade and they think it's the tool, so they go out there and they keep buying all these crazy things, and they end up at the same place losing money instead of realizing it's them and it's not the tool, okay? It's them. A lot of times they're not buying very good tools because they haven't done their due diligence on it. And once again, that's something we'll be getting into here shortly. So that being said, I wanted to show you those numbers. So pretty much what we expect, somewhere in that 75 percentile, that's just, it's out. That's crazy in this business. It's really amazing. Okay, CB trades for the week. Pretty light week for me, 2,400. Once again, my numbers are not going to reflect your numbers. CB is at another level. It is not part of the core package. This is a totally different strategy. It builds on the core method, but there is some more subjectivity to it. So just because you look at my numbers doesn't mean that you're going to receive the same results. You may get different results. You may get better results. You may not get so good results, but this is one of my most powerful strategies. There is some more subjectivity in it, but nonetheless, depending on how much you trade, how little you trade, it is going to make a difference in your results. So those that trade a little bit more may make more. Those that trade a little bit less may make more as well. It just depends on the kind of setup you're looking for and whether you're taking setups that have more strength behind them than others. There's a whole lot of components that go into the CB. So you look at these numbers, don't think that you're going to buy the core and then upgrade to the CB, and all of a sudden you're going to start making, tons of money, all right? The idea is to master core, then you come to CB and you master CB. Like anything else, all right? It's a very strong tool. It's up to you to master it and get it down. Some people get it, some people don't. It's just part of trading. This is part of the game, right? So that's the way it is. But this is my strongest tool that I have in my arsenal. I didn't do a whole lot of trading this week, so my numbers were very light. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. As I get more and more involved in this business and working with students like yourself, my focus has continued to be on, I've been at this for almost 40 years now, and I'm getting to the point where it's time to start teaching what I know, because I will be eventually going into retirement, and it's time for me to start teaching people that there is a better way. You can actually make money, all right, if you use the right tools. But you have to get out of the mindset and stop using the tools that everybody else is using, all right? If everybody's using the same tools, 90% of the people, or 95%, or 98% of the people who are losing money, is probably closer to 98. That tells you something, right? They're probably not using the right tools, all right? So some tools you can put in all the time. You can spend years with one tool and never make any money. You've got to use a good tool, all right? You do have to put time into trading, but why don't you use a tool that's going to put the odds in your favor, that you're confident that's going to hold up? Now master that tool, okay? Instead of trading a tool that has you can't quantify it at all, why would you want to use a tool like that, right? Stochastics or moving average or all that other nonsense. You can't quantify it. So why would you want to use that, all right? So that being said, let's talk about how to select a profitable trading strategy. Okay, so here we are. Let's talk a little bit about this, how to select a profitable trading strategy. Most newer experienced traders evaluate a trading strategy by looking at the following. Now, hey, please don't take offense to this if you're new. I was new at one time. This is what I looked at. I looked at it for years until the light bulb went off and I finally got it. Okay, so please don't take offense to that. Very common. We all do it, but it really doesn't show the whole picture. Most of us look at a couple things. Well, how much money did it make? What was the net gain? How much money did your particular strategy make? Okay. Or the other thing is, what is the percentage of winning trades? That always seems to be a big one. How I get that asked all the time. What percentage of your trades are profitable? And I always tell people my most profitable day, when I look back and looked at my most profitable day, I was only right 47% of my trades that day. It doesn't mean just because something's has a high percentage of winning trades means that you're going to be able to make money. In fact, most of you wouldn't be able to trade a 98% winning system, because as soon as you have 2 or 3 losses in a row, which you will and can, all right, because we're looking at a big sample size, most of you would throw in the towel and give up and think it's no good. So that's not an indication of whether you're trading a good, using a good tool or not. But nonetheless, so let's look at a couple strategies here. So you're out there and you're looking at strategy A, and you say, man, last month strategy A made 8,000, but I like strategy B, it made 20,000. Well, most of you would be looking at that and thinking, wow, and it doesn't have to be monthly, it could be yearly, it could be anything. But most of you are going to look at, wow, where can I make the biggest bang for my buck? And most of you guys are going to lean towards the 20,000. That's what I did when in the beginning. I was looking at which one was showing these incredible results, and that's where I would lean. Okay, so let's dig in. Let's look a little bit further here. Let's see, how are we doing? How does that break down on a weekly basis? Now we're looking at strategy A, we're looking at strategy B. And so instead of looking at the end of the month results, let's see how it was doing on a weekly. Oh, well, now we're seeing that we have a little bit more volatility on B than we had on strategy A, right? Strategy A was fairly consistent in what it was making on a week-by-week basis. But, man, I come over here and I look at strategy B and I'm saying, man, I really killed it the first 2 weeks. But then I got hammered on week 3, and then I was able to trade 4. Well, I promise you, the majority of you that are trading this strategy would just be going crazy knowing that you've made all this money, and then you come into that 3rd week and you just get hammered, all right? How many of us have not been through that, right? It's like, I don't know, it's like the trading gods want you to say, hey, you're going to make all this money, and then they come in and they take it all away from you, all right? We've all been there, all right? So we're not looking, all we're looking at is the bottom number. We're not looking at the volatility, right? We're not looking at the swings. Are you going to be able to trade a strategy that has a $35,000 drawdown? Probably not, all right? But some of them just keep looking at those bottom numbers. They're really not breaking it down and saying, what kind of volatility does this particular method have? Does it have a lot of volatility to it? Most can't trade strategy B. They're going to give up, all right? So now they're going to look at winning percentages. Well, gosh, look at this. This is kind of interesting. Strategy A, they were 75% profitable, and strategy B says their method is 75% profitable, and you're thinking, well, they're both pretty much sitting at the same percentage of profitability. I'm probably I still kind of like, strategy B because it is making a lot more money. But here's what a lot of people don't tell you, and we touched on this earlier. Strategy A had over 6,000 trades last month, all right? Strategy B had only 15 trades last month, all right? Which one now do you want to trade? Do you want to trade the one that has 6,000 trades last month, or do you want to trade the one that had 15 trades this month, okay? Where do you think ultimately, 2 questions, where do you think ultimately you're going to be able to build up your account? Is it going to be one that did it over 6,000 trades or one that did it 15 trades, all right? I want you to think of a house. When you have a house, right? Do you want a house that's built with 4 blocks, right? 4 blocks, or do you want a house that's built with, or 15 blocks, or do you want a house that's built with 6,000 blocks? Which one do you think is going to hold up when you start taking away blocks? Okay? I would rather live in a house that had 6,000 blocks, knowing that I can lose a few blocks, than one where I only have 15. You lose a few blocks, what's going to happen? The house is going to crumble and come down, all right? This is really important. Okay, this is where you're going to be your consistency. This is, you want to see big sample size, and the problem is they never show you the big sample size. All right, so that's the other thing you want to look at is how far back are they going? Are they going back 2 years? Are they going back, are they going back 2 months when they show their profitability trades? Was that profitability over, 5 trades, or was that profitability over 1,500 trades? It makes a big difference. Don't get suckered in saying, well, this guy says his method is 80% accurate. 80% accurate over what? 2, 3 trades? I've had days where we've had 20 trades for one pair, and every single one of them made money. That's 100%. But do you think every single day I'm going to hit at 100%? Of course I'm not. You've got to look at a huge sample size, which I showed you earlier, right? Over 12,000 samples out of sample in the market, hitting 74%. That's what I want to see. This is not something that I want to see. All right, I don't want to see somebody telling me their method is 80% accurate and it's only over 15 trades. To me, that means absolutely nothing. So, kind of recap. When you start to look at trading strategies, obviously you will never be a successful trader unless you believe in the method that you're using. All right, so ask yourself, does it have reliability to it? Has it shown that it can put the odds in my favor? Yes or no? The other thing is look at sample size. Is it something, when they tout their numbers, is it something that was real time, or is it hypothetical? Is it something to where they just said, you know what, I ran all these numbers and it showed that this system's going to be 80% accurate? Well, you know what? In most cases, they don't hold up real time in the market. So, how have they done? What has been the percentage of winning trades when they're actually in the market? Now, keep in mind, folks, and this is extremely important, so I really want you to pay attention to what I'm saying here. There is not a mechanical way of trading that you can just close your eyes, pull the trigger, it's going to give you buy and sells, and you're going to make a lot of money. It doesn't and will never exist. It's too black and white, okay? You will never find a mechanical system where you think that you're going to buy it and it's going to produce all these winning buy and sell trades. Okay, you're going to make a lot of money just by trading every signal that comes up on this mechanical or this robot or whatever the case may be, okay, strategy or system. It doesn't work that way, all right? I want you guys to start using your heads on this. Think about these big trading firms, all right? You think they pay these traders millions of dollars if all they had to do is program it into a computer and it would just generate buy and sell? Seriously, folks? But you look at any fund, they all have people behind them that are trading it. All right, it's not a black and white. They call it, black. It's not in some magical formula that they're trading. All of a sudden, they're making all this money. It still takes a human being to make those decisions, and it's the same way with trading strategies and methods. All right, we can put the best tools in your hand. Obviously, you want a tool that shows that it's reliable, because if you're trading a tool that's not reliable, you're going to lose confidence in it. So get a tool that you know is reliable. But just because you have a reliable tool doesn't mean you're going to be successful. You have to learn how to use that tool. All right? Just like on the analogy I use for the quarterback, the football player, it's the same way with building a house, right? If I give you the best tools, all right, and you don't know how to use those tools, you're probably still not going to be able to build a house. You put that into a professional carpenter, and you give him these good tools, he's going to build a beautiful house. All right, so we can give you the tools, but it's still up to you. It's not the tool, it's up to you to use that tool and become profitable. All right, you've got to put in the work. So if you want to go out there and you want to buy all these crazy strategies and methods because they show you all these great winning percentages, or they show you all this money they made, and you think, oh, you just trade that strategy, you're going to make a lot of money, you're just kidding yourself. Trust me, I did it. I spent, I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars on trading systems and methods when I first started trading, and they all just, none of them ever held up. All right, you've got to learn to become a trader, and the only way you're going to do that is to put in the time and the effort into it. If you're lazy and you don't want to do that, you don't need to be trading, folks. If you don't have time to be looking in front of your charts every single day and get an idea on how the markets move, what is the personality of whatever you're trading? I don't care if it's Aussie US or you trade gold or you trade crude oil or you trade pork bellies. It doesn't matter. You still have to understand the instrument that you're trading, right? The commodity you're trading or the forex pair you're trading. You have to understand its personality, and the only way you're going to do that is with screen time. If you don't want to put in the screen time, you're wasting your time. Don't buy my program. Don't buy anybody's other program. Give your money to somebody that trades mutual funds. Give it to a professional and let them trade for you. But if you don't do this, you're going to end up losing money, all right? So that's my best advice. So once again, when it comes to selecting something, let's look at some better numbers, right? Let's not just look at how much it made or what the winning percentages are. Let's dig in a little bit deeper, and let's take a look and see, what it looks like. And most importantly is, how did it do out of sample, right? How did it do out of sample? And not only that is, are people that are learning the strategy, and are they profitable? Is it something that can be taught? I can promise you my strategy can be taught. I have very successful students that have been with me sometimes 2 months, and all of a sudden they're off and running. And I have others that has taken 6, 7, 8 months to be profitable. That's reality, folks. Everybody learns at a different pace, but the people that typically pick it up and start doing well are the ones that put in a lot of time. They spend a lot of time in the chat room. They spend a lot of time looking at their charts. They do their research. They keep track of their trades, which is also important. All the things that we teach in the core package, you implement it, you will become successful, some sooner than others. But this is a game of just practice, practice, practice. Like any other profession, you want to be a professional football player, you're going to have to do have a lot of practice behind you, and just practice, practice, practice. That's all I can say about trading. It's like everything else. Practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. All right, so I guess that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. This coming week, continue to focus on the Aussie US, continue to focus on the US yen. I may start getting into a little bit of the euro, US euro. We'll see. Besides that, we'll see how the week goes. Wish everybody success. If you like my videos, as always, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe so I can keep you updated on any new videos. We do have a first trade of the day video that we send out every single morning after the trade setup. I show you those results, so please sign up. Let me know you like my videos. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you have any questions, always go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Shoot me your emails. Be glad to answer those for you. Otherwise, everybody have a great trading week. We'll see you next weekend for our next weekly recap. Take care.